Ainsley Earhardt is an ambitious woman who knows what she wants. And once she knew she wanted to be a journalist, she pursued it relentlessly. For a time, she even put it above starting a family. It worked because she became a fan favorite as the Barbie of Fox News. Her plastic perfection hid secret tragedies. She kept going and often kept working, even after losing those closest to her. It's a testament to her strength and belief in a God with a bigger plan to use even the darkest moments. Keep watching to learn why the tragedy that happened to Ainsley Earhardt is unspeakable. Ainsley's early dreams. There was something about the bright lights, big city, and allure of the camera that couldn't help but pull Ainsley in. She first visited New York with a church group during her sophomore year in college. She was enamored of it. She even once woke up at 3 a.m. to go to the Today Show and hold up a sign that said, "Will you marry me, Matt Lauer?" Acting then became her next career goal. That dream didn't turn out the way she'd hoped, though. After that, she thought she might try something more practical. She briefly considered a career in orthodontics. Then she finally found a way to combine her love of the limelight and working amongst crowds. She decided to study journalism and realized she'd found her calling. Her work. Ainsley hustled her way from station to station. She went from local stations to CBS affiliates and eventually to Fox News. She said, quote, "All I could think was, how did I get here? It had to be God." She was a rising star on Fox. Her career-making spot on Fox and Friends began in 2016, a decade later. It was the hosting spot that began her journalism career. She carved out a loyal fan base and became one of the network's favorite anchors. She earned a nickname as the media's Barbie. She even received a personal endorsement from Donald Trump after the release of her book, The Light Within Me, in 2018. He tweeted, quote, "Ainsley Earhardt, a truly great person, just wrote a wonderful book, which is doing really well. She is very special, and so is her new book. Bring it to number 1. Public scrutiny. It's essentially impossible to work in journalism without facing public scrutiny. Ainsley hasn't been able to avoid it despite how well-loved she is. As she says,
"The hardest part for me is when you do have someone that doesn't know you and writes some negative things about you, or when you're going through a really tough time and it's so public and it's out there. They really don't know me. They don't know my heart. So that's been the biggest challenge. But better than any of that is the fact that I get to talk about Christ on TV every day, and Fox doesn't tell me not to."
Despite the scrutiny, she never backs down. She's vocal about her faith and believes God has a purpose for everything. This can anger fans, but they also tend to anger other hosts. She's been called a self-serving hypocrite by Seth Meyers and a dumb blonde by Soledad O'Brien. Ainsley says she doesn't care whether the world has positive or negative opinions about what she says on the air. She knows she's a target for criticism, but has learned to accept it. She said, quote, "I'm not offended. I know God put me in this position, and I know I'm going to be attacked. So I just try to be the best person I can be. I try to be authentic and tell the truth, and if people don't like me for that, what do you want me to be? Something that I'm not? You can always turn the channel." Her previous marriages. Ainsley's first marriage was to her college sweetheart, Kevin McKinney. They met at the University of South Carolina and wooed each other until they got married in 2015. It was a lavish ceremony at the governor's mansion with 11 bridesmaids and 11 groomsmen. At first, it seemed like they'd live happily ever after. They moved to San Antonio so she could be a Fox News anchor for KENS TV. Then they relocated to New York City in 2007 when she joined Fox. The couple quietly divorced in 2009, right when her career was at its peak. There aren't many details as to why. Will Proctor. She eventually found love again with Will, a former quarterback. They got married in 2012. She was ready to become a mother by this time and had a daughter named Hayden in 2015. They proudly showed her off to the world once she was born, and Ainsley has been deeply in love with her ever since. The couple, however, split in 2018. There were rumors of infidelity, which she allegedly has evidence of. He denies it all and said, quote, "There's not 1 ounce of truth to the allegation that I had an affair. I am devastated about this situation and did not envision this for the future of our family." The pain is also more personal than many may realize. Sources say Will cheated with someone Ainsley once considered one of her closest friends. Sources say they tried to tie the marriage together, but it was too late. Will said, quote, "I remain focused on and committed to being the best dad and maintaining a friendship with my wife, even though she has decided to move on. Despite any tension they may still feel, they remain on positive terms for Hayden's sake. She says,
"We are amicable and we co-parent very well. We just want her to have 2 happy homes." And when I had to explain it to Hayden, I just said, "This is not your fault. You had nothing to do with this. We both love you so much, and you're the greatest gift that came out of our marriage."
Tragic details in Ainsley's life. Ainsley's polished appearance often hid personal tragedy. Fans rarely knew when she was dealing with grief or personal issues. When she was finally ready to become a mother, it was during her marriage to Will. They experienced fertility issues. She said, quote, "I had a whole life planned out, what I was going to do, how I was going to get to New York, what internships I was going to do, and what the stepping stones were going to be. But when I started to have children, I was not successful." She had dreamed of eventually having 4 children, but the couple struggled to conceive one. It was difficult to accept that her life wasn't going according to her plan. Worst of all, there were reminders of it everywhere. As she said, quote, "I continuously saw pregnant ladies on the sidewalks, children on park swings, and moms pushing strollers. My professional friends were getting pregnant, and I was not." Ainsley and Will tried for a baby for about 8 months. When they finally did conceive, they were overjoyed. But by the second visit, the baby's heartbeat was gone. Ainsley had a tragic miscarriage and had to undergo multiple surgeries to remove the unborn child. The tragedy reshaped her perspective when she was able to get pregnant again. It made her realize the fragility and unpredictability of life. As she said, quote, "We just don't know what the future holds, and God willing, we all live long lives. But I just embrace every single second with Hayden. Embrace every single second and know that everything is a season. The good times go by quickly, but the bad times go by quickly too." This perspective also helped her through another personal tragedy, the loss of her mother, Dale. She'd been fighting various illnesses, such as type 1 diabetes, for years. One day she had a sudden stroke. Ainsley's father came just in time to get her to the ambulance. She survived, but her health continued to get worse. Dale Earhardt died on October 22, 2022. Ainsley appeared on Fox and Friends days later. She said, quote, "You all probably are wondering how I can come to work today. The answer is my mom would have wanted me to. She knew when I was taking a day off and would say, 'Where are you?'" A recent engagement. Ainsley believes that being made in the image of God makes a woman worthy of true love. She also dreamed of finding it for her daughter one day. That love did eventually come. Sean Hannity and Ainsley Earhardt started out as co-workers, but the spark was clearly there. Ainsley gushed about Sean on air on World Kindness Day, saying,
"If you all knew what we know about him, he's the most generous person. He pays for lunch and dinners for his entire staff on radio and TV every single day. He doesn't care what they order. He has given so many wonderful, generous gifts to people that have needed things to pay for funerals and to put kids through college here at the network, people that have been a part of his life, people who don't make as much money. So you're just a really good person, Sean, and you've helped all of our careers." They reportedly got engaged over the recent Christmas holiday. The details are private, but it's said he proposed at their home church. They had bonded over a shared faith and always put God first in their relationship. Now it's time to hear from you. What's your favorite personal story that a news anchor has shared? Let us know in the comments section below.